Super excited. We have a very special, very legendary guest in the 99 JAMZ studios. I feel like you don't really need an introduction, but I kind of want to give you that introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, Miami, Swiss Beats is in the building.
Showtime.
What's up, Swizzy?
I'm just chilling, enjoying this beautiful weather.
Yo, isn't it crazy
vibe.
how it's like about to be wintertime and I know it's cold up in New York?
Yeah, I mean, I no plans on going back soon.
You're gonna enjoy this so-flow weather.
Yeah, I'm taking this all in. I'm taking all these vibes right here.
Yeah, and speaking of vibes, we're gonna talk about Basil.
Nice.
We're gonna talk about No Commission.
Yes, yes.
We're gonna talk about and congratulate you on walking down that aisle, sir, and getting that Harvard degree.
The big H.
Woo! Swiss Beats is in the studio hanging out. I'm gonna open up these phone lines too.
Okay.
866-991-JAMZ.
Showtime. Crazy.
Steady 9 Jams. We are back. Swiss Beats hanging out live on 99 Jams, Miami's #1 for hip hop and R&B. Now, every year around this time, you come down to Miami.
Yes.
I remember, I want to say it was about 2 years ago you debuted your show.
Yeah, because I skipped last year and we did London because I wanted people to experience the platform around the world and not be attached to a particular name where it's like No Commission can do things on its own and not have it like only when Basel's happening.
Got it.
But you know we're saving the artists and helping the artists even when there's when nothing
when
is
Basil's
going on.
not around.
Yeah.
Which I think is super dope. And let's talk about that. So you have this art installation. You're in your 6th series, is that right? Is it? In
Yeah,
your
it's
sixth?
about 6 shows. Damn.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, so the show is called No Commissions, and I came up with this 3 years ago when I first started back to school, and I wanted to do something to where I can give back the art. We could celebrate the artists.
Okay.
Because I want to be careful with saying give back because it's not a charity, you know, and this is a platform, and I was working all of the different shows. I was curating, and I just seen that the galleries win, the fair win, the collectors win, and the artists had to kind of find their way back home. And I was like, damn, like I'm an artist myself, and if I ever got the chance, I would do a celebration that's 100% for the artists, where whatever they sell, they keep 100%. It's free for the people to get in the show, and the people get to see a big concert every night.
Wow.
And just make like that real celebration, because like when you see all of these different shows and things, they say they celebrate the art, and they do, but
financially the artist doesn't.
They're taking something. I mean, the artists, you know, they get paid for their stuff, but it's still like, right? It's like, you know, I don't want to get into bashing nobody or another platform, because that's not what we represent. We represent, you know, the forward-thinking, by the artists, for the artists, with the people, you know, and that's how we move. And I've given back, you know, almost $3 million in the last 2 years.
$3 million. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, and the artists keep 100% of it. That's like, that doesn't happen.
I know. I want to say, like, I know you probably have. What's the waiting list? 5 years. How do you pick the artist on showcasing them to be a part of No Commission? I think everybody would want to do it.
Yeah, we use a lot of different ways. You know, we use social media, where we pick people from social media. Then we go to different schools and institutions that have programs and pull artists out of that. Then we, you know, there's word of mouth. Then, you know, I have a curator. Her name is Nicola Vasu. She comes from Jeffrey Deitch. Because I'm not, you know, as much as people want to make me the curator, I want to put somebody that really specializes in that, because I really respect the artist's work and craft that much. And so, you know, it's a lot of different ways. And starting maybe next year, I'm going to be able to really open up the platform and introduce the next phase of No Commissions.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
And so just to think in such a kind of like a short period of time that it's really evolved into where it is.
I mean, before I came here, we was on BBC News worldwide, like 77 million people, like, you know, coming from the Bronx and starting this as an idea, and, you know, BBC News wanting to put this in front of so many people worldwide, globally, and even to be up in here, you know, with you guys speaking about it. And
we modestly have about 3 million. It don't compete to 77 million, but we got some M's.
Hey, but it's M's.
Right.
It's M's, and we here talking about this and not music right now.
That's true.
Right?
That
which we can get into
true.
as well. But I just like that people are paying attention, and you know, and youth, I created the entry point because like a lot of the different things that go on, the entry points are so high just to get into the show is $100. Then to buy something from the shows, you got to have a couple of thousands. And my show is free for you to get in. You could get something for $50, 500, 1,000, 5,000, all the way up to a couple of 100,000.
Listen, I went to your show. I've gone to your shows. I went, I guess it was the year before last, and I walked away with some really dope posters for free. Yeah. Like each, it was like a
Hold
booth.
up, but let me tell you what that was. That's a super collected item. That's Gordon Parks' limited edition that they only did for that show. They're never doing that again.
Well,
wow. Those in that poster, those are like, I would call them up. I would frame those.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you for putting me on.
I'm giving you the drop. See, like the thing was, I couldn't let people know how valuable it was at the time. I wanted it to be a gift. Like, see how you just got that, and I'm telling you what it is. I wanted people to discover what they really had, right? Because and this is a great exercise because when you give something away for free, people don't really understand the value of it at that point, right? And so imagine the discipline that I had to go into no commissions, and even with my partners, Bacardi, is like them understanding the ROI on backing this. I said, no, the ROI, the return on investment is the people being happy and us supporting the artists and us giving a platform to go forward. That's the return on that. That's it right there for me and for them as well because, we still doing it.
I know that's right. Swiss Beats on these airwaves dropping gems on them.
I mean, I'm fresh out, so I'm ready right now, man. You catch me at the right time. I wake up early like I still got to go to class.
99 Jams. And speaking of class, congratulations on graduating. I'm just curious because, when you decided to go back to school, it was a 3-year program, was it? It was a 3-year program. You were successful. You were, you have a lot of things under your belt. So what was it that made you decide, let me go back to school? Like, that's very humbling, I feel like, of you.
I think it was very responsible. I have kids. And, at the end of the day, us as creatives, we always feel that we're invincible, which is the downfall of most creatives, right? You can name on one or two hands of who's really wealthy as a creative, old, new, you name it. And it's because we ignore the business side of it. So, this is art business, music business, fashion business, radio business, all of these different things. And I was finding it to a point where, you gotta remember, I just turned 39. I've been doing this since 17, professionally. And there comes a time where the creativity takes its course, but then you keep hitting this wall. It's like, man, I've won every Grammy. I got every award. I got why I can't get to this next level? And I realized that it was the educational side. We're not able to think outside of the norm, meaning my norm is going in the studio, produce a track, make a chorus, make a hit. But there's going to come a time where you're going to want to diversify your portfolio and do more than just music. You might be interested in real estate. You might have a great invention. You might have an app. How do you even go about that?
Right.
Without hiring a bunch of people or depending on a bunch of people, I just felt like I got to go in and put that work in. You cannot get around. There's no shortcuts in this, and anybody telling you that you can take the easy way, you're gonna always come back to the same spot. So I said, you know what, to invest 3 years into my life, build up a great friendship with 48 different countries and 300 and some students around the world that are like-minded and have vision to prepare for my next 20 years. I think that's kind of easy. I think that was like a no-brainer, and I wanted to also just let people know that it's cool to be smart and creative and fresh.
Right. So you were legit in the classroom?
In the dorm room, in the classroom. I had my last session was before I graduated, 37 case studies. And a lot of those case studies, the earlier part of the case study is how I built no commissions. I took different pieces from those case studies and put together the plan to where I built a platform where I never have to touch the artist's money. Right, and so that's how we able to have no commissions as well. And I built a couple of others that are coming later after that. But Yeah, you know, a lot of people was giving me backlash for going back to school. I couldn't understand.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't. I'm like, yo, I'm from the South Bronx. I need all the education I can get. Like, our school system was through over there.
But I think it was dope. You definitely represented for the Bronx. That jacket that you had was super dope.
Yeah, documentary coming too. I'm showing, you know, because even with me walking people through that process through my Instagram, I just think that people need that because the attention span is so small. It's like, that's why I shot the documentary, right? So people can really see what my room look like, what my classmates look like, what my work look like, how we study, how we eat, how we just so people could picture themselves doing that. Like, man, like they really in there having fun, they working, but I could do that. You know, if you get one or two people to say that they can do that, which, you know, thousands of people enroll back into school, young and older. You know, I've got letters, the school got letters, and I was like, you know what? I got to take this more serious because I was doing like a low-key thing in the beginning. And I'm like, no, people, this doesn't happen.
Right.
You know.
So you were doing like the Hannah Montana thing? Like just going to school and nobody knew it was you? What do you mean the low-key thing?
No, they didn't know. They knew me as Kasim Dean. Yeah, they didn't know. Yeah, it was Kasim Dean, Dean Collector. You have a tag.
Right.
They knew me when my wife came to the school. She blew me up. You know, it was over after that.
It was over.
And once she stepped on the campus, it was kaboom. But at that time, I already made friends with everyone off of just being me. Because you got to understand, my classes, I'm like one of the youngest in my class. My class is owners, presidents, management, right? So to be clear, is owners from companies around the world and presidents from around the world. And this class help you recalibrate how you manage those companies after success. So the class that I was in is a class that you have to be successful in. You have to be successful to get in that class.
There, right?
Because they're teaching you how to further your success, right? So if you did a big IPO and sold your company, you know what's going to happen. Management's going to go left. People don't know if they're going to get fired.
Right.
You know, you have these incubators in the company. So you cash out a bunch of money, but the forward moving of your companies are in shambles.
Yeah.
So you go back and you learn all these things on how to recalibrate your company, and that's what I felt I needed to do.
Wow. I mean, you go from making beats, working with the biggest names in hip-hop, you know, designing cars, fashion collabs with, you know, high-end luxury labels. Like, what is next? You have your art that you created, you know, this platform that, you know, gives back to artists through no commission. You talked about a documentary. I mean, what else is there to do?
Well,
at this point,
I'm about to do. My next move is called Poison. Right. So we've seen everything that we talked about. We, you know, Harvard and all this stuff here. You know, and in this world, everything is not painted that pretty. Right. So my album is called Poison. Right. Because like, I took all of like what I would say, the big radio records and the big, you know, global smashes off my album on purpose, and I stripped it down to the rawest elements of what I feel that we're missing in music right now.
Okay.
And I felt like I graduated Harvard and dropped Poison on them. You see what I'm saying? Not graduated Harvard and came with a song with X, Y, and Z as the biggest feature, and now we just living this type of like it's still a lot of things on the ground that got to be covered. You know, it's still things that it's still ways I want to hear artists sound on tracks. Like I still want to pick up where I left off, and then I want to graduate from that to the next level. And so for me to do that, I just wanted to just make a record that was just straight to the point, 10 to 12, just back to back, uncut, from artists that you know but you never heard them doing what they doing on my record.
Wow.
You know, so
I'm looking forward to some Poison.
Yeah, I was ready to drop. I'm ready to drop it whenever, but you know, my Epic team said we gotta be organized. It's too special just to just do whatever.
To just give it.
Yeah, cause I'm spontaneous. Like for me, it's just like I'll be like, here, take it now, play it. Let's go. Exclusives. Right. You know.
I'm curious. Do you feel, because you know, you have definitely evolved and will continue to evolve. Do you feel hip hop is not evolving fast enough, or do you think it is evolved where it should be?
Oh, it's definitely evolved. You know, as far as where it should be, nobody was able to predict where hip hop should be since the beginning. You know, it's always been a rebellious misunderstanding between what was right at that time versus later. And, you know, even like with a lot of the music that we hear today, might not agree with all of it, but, you know, I gotta let those guys do what they do because I was those guys before. They didn't understand me when I came with that Rough Rider sound and all those different things. Like I was getting the same backlash. It just wasn't about me dressing certain ways and moving certain ways.
Right.
But I was being criticized because there was a sound that was so heavy before my sound that the people that were originally a part of the other sound, they couldn't understand my sound. And so that's why I kind of like when I first came out, people didn't see no visuals in me, you know, because I just was like, yo, they just gonna hate, you know, because I was seeing it early. But then I'm like, who am I to judge an artist that figured out a way to feed their family? That could be robbing your mother, robbing my mother, doing like they, right? So it's a positive, even though there's a lot of negative that's going on in that. But any artist that's willing to express themselves, I'm supporting. You know, and the other thing is like we want to criticize a lot of these youth, but are we really sitting down having conversations with them? Are we like saying, listen, man, come sit down, let's talk? Or we just watching from the sidelines, like, oh, look at those guys. So every artist that I work with or that I even sit down with that's from this generation that's young, we do more talking and building in the studio than music, right? And the vibe, and like these guys are way smarter than us, by the way, because they have more access. And you sit down and you listen, and you're like, man, I never thought like the way you look in these videos and the way you talking to me right here, the world don't even notice. And they're dumbing themselves down because it's a marketing plan. It's just.
And that's what I was kind of like referring to. Do you feel like the fact that where we are now, as far as some of these artists dumbing down what it is that they know, you know what I mean, just to kind of have some type of quote unquote success?
It's an easy lick. But I didn't let nobody dumb themselves down for my record. I challenged everyone, which is why I feel I have the record that I have. You know, from a lot of those particular artists that we're talking about, you know, you're going to hear them on this album in a way that's like, that's not who I just thought it was. I'm like, yeah, because they're actually being produced and they're actually, you know, being challenged, right? And it's just like, yo, have you thought of this? Why don't you try this? I know you like that track. Like, do something on this right here. Let's just try it. And make an experiment out of it, you know.
And expose them to different sounds and different techniques and stuff. I think that's super, super dope. Today's Hove's birthday.
Over.
I'm curious, do you have a favorite song that you've produced for Jay-Z or just a...
Yeah, I do. It's called Stop. And it wasn't even one of our popular ones. You know, since,
which album?
Well, I don't even know if it was on the album. I think
was it?
It's called Stop. I cannot stop. I will not stop.
I will.
There you go.
See. That
one right there.
That's your favorite Hove.
That's like personally.
That was hard.
Mainstream is Jigga. But like personally, I mean, we got a Grammy offer on to the next one, so that should be, you know. But
another one.
No, but on to the next one was like a record from my album, and he called me at the last minute like, yo, I need like something with a vibe, and I was like, I'm sending you one record, and that record was that, and it was really my exit to the industry, was on to the next one, right?
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people didn't really pay attention to that, which is the reason why I'm just now coming back, and like I have an album now, but I had to take a break and really recalibrate what I wanted to do and open up different, you know, lanes for myself. That's why people see me go from, you know, the fashion to the art to, you know, just diversifying my portfolio, because I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to be like 50 years old and trying to do the same things I've been doing when I'm 20. That's just me personally. I don't knock anybody that, you know, we can perform at any age. Music is timeless. But me personally, I felt like I was leaning too much on something that wasn't like loyal, and something that wasn't steady, and something that didn't really understand itself. You know, like if you look, I'm talking about the industry, and you look at the industry, it's like it's confused itself. So how can you depend on something that's confused itself to lead you in your journey with your kids and your future? So I was like, on to the next one.
Listen, man, I know somebody is in their car right now. You are speaking to their spirit. Swiss Beats is live, dropping serious gems on 99 Jams. We still gonna chop it up with you. Where are we with this DMX album? I heard like he was back in the studio and working on some things. Like, are we? And we might as well throw in a Rough Riders reunion album and where are we?
You know, the music part with my brother has never been a problem. You know, we have an album done. Okay. You know, but the thing is, to be fair to him, it's like I think that he has to be ready. You know, and I'm not talking about ready as far as just getting on the mic, because he's always ready for that. You know, my thing is like when we come this time, I want him to be, and he want himself to be mentally and spiritually and physically ready, you know, to be there. And I think he's there, which is the reason why people can see him gain a lot of weight and different things. Like, those are great signs. And like, I'm like, yo, let him gain all the weight he can gain, because that's a symbol of doing the right thing. And he's just been in a great space, man. I'm super proud of him. And, you know, he's dealing with a couple of things right now, and he got to deal with them. You know, like, at the end of the day, he's a grown man. He's my brother forever. You know, I protect him. You know, I let the car run over me to save him. You know, people witnessed that for many years, and that's not going to stop. And, you know, people just, people's life journeys are their life journeys. You know, but as long as you have great intentions as a brother, as a friend, and as long as you're willing to support, that means more than everything. You know, because, like, the money part is like, that's nothing.
Right.
I haven't seen anything that money could fix permanently, right? Money is a temporary fix on however you put it. Like, you can spend money on your car, like, that's a temporary thing. Something's going to happen to you. It's all temporary. But, like, when you have good intentions and you have real love, like, that's, like, forever. And that's what we have for each other. So there's times where I'm just going all out and just doing things. People are like, you look crazy on the financial side. And sometimes I'm be like, yo, you got to handle that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he got to build himself up. And all of us, you know, and I told all my friends, I said, listen, don't come to me with no problem 100%. Meaning, come to me with solutions, right? Because most people, everybody around me work. Everybody around me know their goals. Everybody know what they want to do. But what happens when you get in this industry or any industry, people are just cool with being cool, right? I don't want nobody around me that's cool with being cool. Like man, like you just cool with being cool, right? And so my thing is, like, if I'm saying yes to everything, what motivation is for that person to go maximize their potential? So I'm technically holding you back if I'm saying yes to everything. So my thing is, like, come to me with 80% or 90% of it figured out, and then we'll figure out the 20 or the 10%. For me, that's an equal exchange, and it's fair. I have a family myself, so I shouldn't be responsible for 100% of nobody grown problem that's living and breathing healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I'm just not doing that no more. I used to do all of those things, but it never helped anyone.
Right.
You know, it's just never. I just never seen it help anyone. I think the only way that it helped when you infuse people to dig deeper in themselves and kind of figure it out, and it's a better celebration that way. It's like, yo, I did this. Like, even like with Snags right here, like, you know, we went out, produced this, you know, record of one of our friends that model, and now that record is like all over Europe and different things, and it's just like a lot of great things that's happening. But if I was just giving him everything, that wouldn't be special to him.
Right.
It's like, yo, I went out and like did this, but I'm like, yo, here, do this, bang, boom. It'd be like what I'm supposed to do, right? And it shouldn't be like that. Like, everybody should do what works in their thing, you know.
Absolutely. And then you appreciate it when you work for it. You know, you're getting it from the muscle, from the ground up. And you know, it's just that foundation, and it speaks on ethic and
if I work every day, everybody got to work.
I know that's
you
right.
know what I'm saying? My dad worked. You know what I'm saying? If my father could work still, then everybody got to work. Like, it just is what it is.
What do you do in your off time other than, you know, throwing on some roller skates? Skating through. Was that your house?
Yeah.
Oh my. I was like, is that a roller skating? No, I think that's his crib.
Yeah, that's
what do you do in your downtime?
Roller skate in the crib. I do a lot of different. I don't really, you know, my wife had to tell me when it's downtime, because for me it's never downtime. I'm so loaded with ideas and so much inspiration. I got so much work to do. like I said, I don't even feel like I started yet. Like even all the things that I've done up to this point, it's like, how can I have started and I didn't even know what I was doing? It's like now I feel like I know what I'm doing. So it's like now the work begins. It's like I got all these accolades and now I got this, this Harvard thing behind me. And now what are you really gonna do? And so that's why I'm glad that people were able to see this journey of me leading in the right path, like with no commissions and, showing the industry how to do connections with companies and brands. And that's something that I brought to the table is how to do partnerships, real partnerships, like what I have with Cardi or what I have with Zenith and Bally and Reebok and all these different things where you never see me in a campaign. You never see me holding up a drink. You never see me doing any of those things. Like, because like at the end of the day, you have to be creative enough to make these partnerships authentic and like I want to be in the inside, and let's empower other people through those things as well. That's
super dope. And speaking of empowering, let's just talk again. The show No Commission, it's on Thursday, right? That's the opening.
It's from the 7th to the 9th.
Yep.
You have to RSVP. Snags, what's the link?
And it's free for people to come.
Yeah, it's free.
Okay.
Yeah, it's free. So I give you the RSVP link.
I'm already RSVP, but we could. Hey, if you wanna experience No Commission, it's super dope. I mean, it was dope. I was there. I went all 3 nights last time it was here.
Yeah, they see the performance line.
Woo! Are you dropping names?
Nah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It's too early.
Yeah, because we're having. Nah, I can't.
You should just one time. Just a one little.
Damn,
Snags! You just throwing all types of salt.
Yeah, because it's so crazy.
It's so crazy.
I don't think you need to drop it.
Okay.
You know.
All right. So basically, what they're saying is you need to be at No Commission.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
It's the show for it's the show for us.
I'm not mad at that, man. And it's at the Soho House in Wynwood.
Yeah.
Is that where? Okay.
Yeah, but let's be clear. You can't just show up and get in. So I don't want to. I came. They acting funny. No, it's RSVP.